Hey everyone, and welcome back to Transport Fever. This is the Great Western Railway. We are in our fictitious town called Merington, watching Sarah here go down to the train station from our new church that we made. Between episodes, I've been trying to build up the population of this town and failing dismally, so in the end I decided just to plop down a whole lot of assets to do it. And this beautiful church with the little gathering out the front is one of those things. You've got the little building here that I've put down, and then this whole row of houses down here. And Sarah here is walking down to the station, and you can see that the train is actually waiting because I actually doubled up the train, trying to increase the capacity of the line to see this town grow. Actually, we can watch Sarah go down the staircase. Yeah, this is the Mad Hatter platform mod. Lets you put on a staircase on the end of the platform. And really good timing. We're actually seeing the other train come in. It goes past the station and then turns around in a fictitious yard behind us. And then, yeah, it looks like Sarah just missed the train. And then this other train gets to head off. And so, yeah, I think it looks pretty good. Lots of vegetation got added. Little diorama stuff everywhere. You can see this beautiful train pull out. Get the white line off. Looking good. So what we're going to do today is actually continue this hill valley line. It's called the Hill Valley because it goes down this massive hill. You can see that it winds down this hill and then drops off down there. And so yeah, we're going to continue off into the hills through this relatively benign valley and try to connect to the next town. One thing that did change, if I change the video overlay, and we can go, thank you Sarah, you can see this is actually now a cargo because these trains actually do have, we do manage the vehicle, on the end of them, if I hover over here on the bottom right corner, you can see it's brake luggage van. And so these actually do have a little bit of luggage ability. And so that's actually where the luggage is being picked up. So there's a little trail that I've put in here. You can see it down there. If we turn on the overlay, you can see that's where it's all connected. And so there's a small amount of town that through this cargo station is getting its mail goods. And I can turn on, what overlay do I want? This one. Yeah, you can see the all these package signs. And what is driving all that is I did make a new quick little truck line. I gotta remember where it is, over here. Yeah, this is our mail sorting center. Takes mail in and out. And so there's a truck line that goes between there and down to Tannery, down to this station, and now the cargo train that comes flying through here does actually stop, where before it was in this direction towards us, it was expressing through, now it goes through. And then that means that when it gets to Montguthrie, it can do transfers and everywhere else. So there's a little bit of mail on the network now because of that, or because I was just trying to get that town to grow. So you can see here, they can see a couple of towns ascending, and I assume a couple of towns are receiving. But that's why that's there. So I don't want to lose that. So we are going to keep that. Where are we? I'm lost. All right, so let's try to get over to Puttery. There is an egregious hill here, so we are 100% going to be doing a underground tunnel thing. I'm pretty sure we're higher than where we are, so let's continue our upwards grade. So we're using 2 steps up as our maximum, so 1, 2, and then we'll go forward. And I think we can go probably, I think my goal is just to follow the road. And we will be under the ground for a while, but hopefully we'll pop out somewhere practical. We may have to break our rule and go up to 3. Where does 2 take us? So let's go that way a bit more. There is a bit of a low to the left, but then it goes up. So we're going to have to aim for that point there. So maybe if we come a little bit this way, so we're a bit lower, and then hopefully, all right, so what we can do is actually start carving the land. Let's go about that far, and it will go about there up to there, and then we'll start the process of being exposed. Yeah, so we're getting the grade now. So yeah, let's expose that, and we'll do a build anyway for that road. Get rid of the road. And I don't think that one's going to be a natural stone fence. Those can be roads because they're obvious. We don't need a road here. That one probably can stay. Maybe I'll turn this one into a railway crossing actually. And so let's work out the final bit. So we are still climbing with my eyesight there, but the town is low again. So yeah, it's very hilly in this area. So let's work out where to go to next. So there's not that many towns around here actually. So there's Neverall, and then we could finally try to maybe get over to Tarshan, which is on the train network, or we could go this way to Durham. So is Durham in the middle of nowhere? It kind of is. And then Ville. So yeah, so maybe we could join here, come around the forest through here, and then, or maybe on this side, come around here. Actually, I'll stay to the left. That way we can do Durham. What's the height like? So that's probably plausible through there. So you were probably aiming for there. And so that means we need to go, yeah, probably a little bit in the ground through here. Or maybe this saddle's over here. So yeah, okay, so it's probably around here somewhere. We don't necessarily have to go in and out. We actually can go in and then like this. So that might be different. So yeah, I think the goal will be, let's keep it straight. And then let's assume that this is going to be the left track into a station. And let's go past there. And yeah, I think that's doable. And let's tack a station onto that. Great Western Railway. Let's do it as a 80. 2 tracks is going to do it. I'd rather have the station platform in the middle. Right, so that's yeah, okay, that's fine, because then we'll put the other person on this side. Let's configure that, and I'm gonna get rid of the slope on there, and we'll make this a hard end. And then what else do we need to do? Put some tracks on it, and I think that's ready to go to that way. And we probably want to make it so that the cross-off point is on either platform. Yeah, so we'll put an X out here. So let's put the other track on. Let's make it around here, and then we'll do a last second curve into there. I think this road probably... Are you deep? Yeah, that can get... I'm sure that can go under. We should be able to get a tunnel around there. So let's bring down the land a bit. Brush, 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 brush. And actually, let's give us a nice flat from over there. So there's a deliberate effort there, and then we'll go under. Actually, that seems to be the same height as that anyway. And hopefully we can make this a tunnel. Still not enough? Okay. Oh, maybe because I didn't get rid of that stuff. So let's go a little bit deeper. Oh, that edge there is going to be a problem. Okay, so let's bring this out. And actually, this whole area is going to need to be lifted up because of the station. There can be a bit of an edge there. Does this happen to go down towards anything? Oh, it doesn't. Okay. So, yeah, we're going to have to fade that off. But I do want to make it so that around here is all consistent. Something like that. And you're acting weird. Stop acting weird. There it goes. Cool. I'm thinking whether I need to put a road in. I probably need to put a road in sooner than later. Let's use these small ones. Whoops, what did I do there? That's going to destroy the edge. Actually, we probably don't need a road because it's just a station after all. It's probably just this one that matters. So let's do that. Yeah, and then need to make it so that we can get past. Stop trying to help. Thank you very much. Yeah, and then we can curl down to that. And yeah, this will be something like this through here. But let's get the bridge in first. Nice. Split bridge is interesting. It is interesting, isn't it? That's an interesting thing that happened. Hadn't thought of that. Let's see if we can get a road through here. Come on. Is it too small? Do we make it too narrow? Yeah, we're gonna have to make this bridge bigger. Try number 5, I guess. There we go. Yeah, this whole area has been quite the technical challenge to get right. I'm actually being quite surprised about how difficult it has been to run a train line through this area of the map. I think we've been actually quite lucky with the rest of the endeavor so far. And yeah, let's do that. I don't like that. What we might do is bring the track back a bit and we'll really separate it out back here. And actually, one of the things I should have done is made sure that this is horizontal, because we don't want it to yeah, let me make this straight. Come on. You do that. You do that. And then I'm going to put a track in the middle. And then you can be stone. You can be stone. And luck be with us. Let's go through at 90 degrees. I think I might go slightly bigger just because of the risk of it all. And then voila. And then yeah, okay. And all right, so let's get this track like this. Make sure it's level. And then what I'm going to do, how am I going to do this? All right, so I'm going to come into there and come out to there. And yeah, then we can get rid of this middle one, which has been used to do alignment. And I think I have too much curvature? No. Because it's on a curve. Okay. I think that's okay. Because you'll come in. Yeah, I think that's doable. You may have been able to push that one down the track a bit, but alright, so that means we can go either platform, and then around here somewhere we will turn off, and you can go there, and I didn't make that last connection very nice. Let's bring this out this way a little bit more. Yeah, let's go to there like that. I don't really care that it's not straight. That can be like that, and then we're going to need something like this for the future. Was this one horizontal? Did I get that right? Did I get that right? Because I want all this to be flat. No, it wasn't. You need to be flat. You need to be flat. You need to do that flat, and then I'm going to make this single track for now. All right, now let's bring this back, smooth the whole thing out, and then I think we may have a new route. I've been doing a double track. Do I even want it to be double track? Let's make the tunnel single track. And then we can deal with that. What is this? What's this chaos? There we go. All right, so let's put some signals on this. I'm just going to do simple signals here. And yeah, that's what we're going to do about this thing. Yeah, that's going to be impractical. So let's give this some consistency of height. So we'll bring this up. And over here as well. I don't know whether that's going to be high enough for a bridge. I think it may be. Only one way of finding out. Do we need a hump? Oh, I'm okay with a hump. It needs to have a bit more space though. Yeah, this side on the left I think it's pretty low. So let's go for 90 degrees and then let's give it a hump. And too much slope. I probably can bring down this right side a bit, is my guess. Maybe a bit more than that. Actually, maybe if we can do a hump on that side, we should be able to do a hump across the board. So, all right, 90 degrees, hump. Oh, no, so we did need the hump. I think I'm wasting my time on that. I think we can just ignore all that. Ignore all that. That's all fine. All right, so you can... You're too low to be a crossing, so let's redesign these paths. And we'll make a new field over here. Actually, let's make a field that's huge. And there can be some like that. And you know what? I'm actually tempted to bring that into town. And we'll bring it into town right about there. Cool. And then let's actually work out the way up to the station while we're at it. Nice. It's a bit steep, but that's okay. Cool. And then smoothify all this. And, you know, I think I might actually bring this area down a little bit. Too much. Too much. Actually, we'll just bring it down to the level of the track. So we can kind of explain that this is somehow expected. Done. And then I think I want to make it so that there's a bit more of a stack edge there. Cool. All right, and then the last thing to do is some depaintify. Let's get rid of all that and all that. And then I'm going to use random trees. I'll get rid of the sugar maple. I'm thinking of the one that's like the tall pine. And there we go. No, that's not tall pine. Scots pine is probably that one. And before we know it, we have a tree-lined avenue that kind of explains the deal. We'll have a forest across here. It's a weird brush to use for this, but it's a good way of getting a nice random set of stuff. And we should get a train down here, huh? Yeah, I like that. And then we'll put a stone wall across there. A bit more around here. Fill this in. And that's pretty good. This area needs some love. There's sculpting around here is no good. So let's give that a layer. And I think about there's probably a bit more appropriate. And let's make this sit into the world a bit better with some fences. Fences. Do I want stone wall? Or do I just want something? I do tend to use these a lot. I do like them. Let's do this one. And there. To there. And there. Come on, come on, come on. There. Finished. Alright, let's put some signals on there. Start the station or start the segment. You can go there, you can go there, and as you come inbound, be ready to stop. Same with you at some point. And alright, so then the reason I did all of that was just because of signaling. I was trying to work out where I should put this signal, and I think this one can go about here. And we'll do one. Yeah, I'm gonna keep these segments pretty big. Alright, I think. So it's going to go. All right, there's a signal here. It's a real signal. All right, so that's a real signal, and it will come through. It will own the line, come under here, and then it will go through, and then that will clear. Yeah, that should work. And we have a route over here. So let's get this guy properly seated in the environment. I think that thing there's fine. I think if we just go straight down here, I think I might move that dirt road so that we have a nice spot to dock onto. And then, yeah, you can go into there. Let's do some street upgrades. That seems to be the wide version, so let's use the wide version on that. And cool. So do we need to put any freight over here? So in theory, now that we have mail going, yeah, these people do want mail. So what you need to do is put down a storage thing, and let's use the traditional one. 0 Tramtrack no tiny. And what that will do is it'll cause them to pick up mail, and as long as it's got distance to the station, which it does, it should just all automatically transfer, I believe, because it'll go from here to there and then automatically transfer to people who are in range. You don't have to have a truck, and then vice versa. So that will work. Let's give this a bit of a smoothify. I think we're gonna put down some trees. Why aren't you working? Why aren't you working? Random. Yeah, I was doing delete. And I love these straight brushes. The other one that's useful if you care for it is like these big ones, so you can make farms. So like if I was doing, for example, a farm in the middle of nowhere, like I could like grab these bushes. It's just, it needs to be a 90-degree angle though. So I mean, I could make a farm out of something. You know what I mean? Like I could do this and make something, but yeah, I just don't see with this map where all the farms have already been done. There's not really a need for it. All right, so Puttery, that's your name. Is this called Puttery Station? It is. You are Puttery Depot. Oh, branch is right. Yeah, cargo. And all right, let's get a line modified. Hill Valley. So Doorhaven is down over there. It comes to Merington, which is that one. And then do we want to go to the shunt? Might as well. And then we go through there across to Puttery. And then we'll come back via the shunt and then go into Merington. And then in Puttery, for no good reason, you can choose 2 platforms. And let's go in on the left one for no good reason. And cool. So in theory, mail could be picked up and delivered either way. Yeah, I think we may have another town online. Since we're here waiting for a train to come along, I'm just going to grab this and a nice random thing and quickly do that there. And a bit of a sprinkle. And since we haven't had much growth around here, let's do that. And we'll fill in the hill here. And same with this. And then let's take the inaugural run. So pulling into Maybury. Oh, sorry, not Maybury, into Merington. So what have we got? We've got 20s. Oh, actually, half decent number of people have got off. And 7 people got on. I have no idea whether they actually wanted to go to Puttery. There's our signal up there. I'm not sure that was the right thing to do. I think maybe we should have just used a like a side signal. I put a lot of underbrush here. You can see there's the nettle type thing, lots of grasses and stuff. I really filled it up. Not sure what the role of this is going to be going forward. You can see that there is a path here. That is how the goods are being loaded. It's just the mail right now. Interesting that the door's open. Huh, interesting. And then let's go into our new tunnel. We're at the front here. So this was 2 steps up. So I'm not sure what speed we'll get. Okay, it's not too long. I was worried about the length a little bit, but it seems to be plausible. Let's look at the running gear. Let's have some fun with that. Okay, yeah, so we can see it is a fair way over there. Okay, so it's not the shortest of tunnels. Actually, it's probably the longest tunnel we've got. Yeah, I'm not really thinking of this line as being super fast or efficient, and it's losing money left, right, and centre too. But it's just cool to get that weaving of tracks through the mountain. I'm really glad that I'm calling it Hill Valley. I think it's a nice play on words that we have to climb a lot of hills and deal with a lot of valley swoops. So yeah, I'm quite happy with calling it Hill Valley. So that's the climb, and then I think around here we're actually able to level off a bit. So at 42, yeah, speed's coming up now. 43. Yeah, we may be able to do single track a little bit further. I mean, we've obviously got the single track through the main hill climb. So I'm not sure whether we actually need to do 2 tracks here. I do like the idea of keeping it small. You know what? Yeah, let's actually keep it nice and small. And we'll have... yeah, I'm okay with... Yeah. What do I want to do here? We'll leave it this way for now. We'll have it for a couple of episodes, and then I may reduce it. There's that spur line. Actually, that's going to look good. I like that. Yeah, that's going to be good. Hopefully we haven't made a bad choice there. At worst, we rip it all out. And then into the left. Oh, what we haven't done is put a bus service in. Or replace the bus service. There's actually a bus service between Puttery and Merington. Actually, and we also need to put the end of that platform on as well. So, yep, no customers. Not a surprise there. All right, so that looks cool. Let's finish off our handiwork and get the end thing on there. End platform, end fence, head. No, platform. Yeah, platform. And then we want it to be +5 offset. Nope, -5 offset. There we go, that's that done. And then we need a bus situation. I think we can just go with... you know what? We probably... Yeah, I don't think we can fit a loop in here. Also, I don't think it's justified. Let's just use a normal bus stop. And we'll put it out the front. And what do we have in town? I know we have one for the intercity bus. So we've got one here. Well, let's really encourage some growth. And we'll put one over there. And one over there. And we'll get rid of that middle one. And then we'll make a new line from here to here to here. We'll use our standard green color. Passenger in Puttery. And then we will need a depot, and there's one of those over here in Merington. We put one right there in our nice little area. Actually, you can see that this guy's got cleared because of that double track. Yeah, I might reduce it to one just from a diorama point of view. Around town, I'm going to go cheap because I'm pretty sure this is not going to make money. We'll just get one. And we'll assign it to passenger Puttery. Actually, you know what? What we could have done is reassigned this guy. Manage these. Actually, you know what? Sell. And then let's manage that line. Manage the line and delete. Yes. And then we'll get rid of that. So now these guys will go around there, and that's how they'll get to the station. And then this end, do I end up with an extra bus stop? I don't think I did. I think I used this one twice. So that's fine. So yeah, there's a bus around this one. So it goes around there, over the bridge, drops people off, goes around the back and drops people off. I think the coverage of this is okay. I don't think we need to go any more to the left or the right. It would be cool to see it go across this crossing here, but it doesn't really work out. But you know, the train goes across often enough for that to be fun. And then down this end, all right, this guy's waiting. That's cool. So where's he? Oh, where are you waiting? So there must be. Actually, this is no longer temp. This is one I just added for experimentation. And where are you? Oh, okay, you're in the tunnel. Okay. Yeah, I'm actually cool with that. That's cool that yeah, they wouldn't invest that much money, I'm guessing, in a regional tunnel. They'll do what the absolute minimum, and yeah, it's good to see that. If we turn on the train filter, there it is right there. Yeah, he is going along molasses, but that's fine. That is fine. And so they'll head off. Out of interest, because of all that congestion and waiting. Okay, 29, and how many of those does one of these take? One of these holds, okay, 48, so that's going to work out. Okay, and then out of interest, out of the other end of the line, so down our S, what is the queue like over here to come up here? Hill Valley, 17, yeah, so those two trains, we probably even can get it down to one, quite frankly, but they're working. To support the mail at this end, I put another shunt right here. So on the way down, there's this, and then there's just this truck right here. This truck is delivering the mail. Actually, there's three of them. They're delivering mail. I'm sure financially, yeah, they're terrible. You know what? These guys, yeah, you have nothing. So we'll just have one guy doing that, and they can deliver the mail. And so what's happening, it goes across here all the way through there and goes over to Swinton Cargo. And I think, does it stop? Yeah, okay, it stops in town here in case this town, Doorhaven, has any mail. So this station here has pretty good coverage of this town, so that's how its mail services are done. So yeah, over the next couple of episodes well, maybe not next couple of episodes, but at some point we will definitely invest in getting the mail service going. And yeah, this guy's coming out of the tunnel, stopping for mail in the other direction. Yeah, I don't want to make that two tracks. We could express in one direction and not take the mail. Yeah, I think from Puttery this way, there's no reason to drop the mail off. Yeah, I think in that direction, I'm going to get rid of the the picking up. Actually, no, let's not do it on the way out. Let's just do it on the way in. Yeah. So that way they will leave. So that means that as soon as they've got this clear, it means they're clear through the tunnel. That's what that means. Yeah. Cool. Well, you know what? I am really happy with the progress here. We've got lots of little dioramas going on to fill the void. See all these no names. All these are things that I had to place to fill it all in. But I think this area has come a long way since we absolutely destroyed it 2 episodes ago. And yeah, I'm happy with it, even though it is a financial loss, yeah, by a fair bit, $1 million a year, $500,000 a year. But yeah, I'm okay with that. All right, we'll leave that episode there. Thanks so much for watching. Next time we'll probably do something about that spur line and work out where it goes and whether it can help us do some cargo and stuff down this end of the map as well. Don't forget to press subscribe so you don't miss out on this Great Western Railway action, and always happy to see a cheeky like on the video. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on the rails. See you, everybody.